Good morning. We have now an interview with Alexandro, one of the members of the staff of the European Disability Forum. Good morning.
Good
Can
morning.
you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Alejandro Moledo, and I work as policy coordinator at the European Disability Forum, which is the umbrella organization that represents the interests of over 100 million persons with disabilities in Europe. I basically coordinate our advocacy towards the European Parliament and those policies concerning information and communication technologies.
And are you very active in the topic accessibility?
Yes, very much. I've been working for the past 6 years on policies regarding accessibility to new technologies, and that includes media, ICT products and services, web accessibility, telecommunications, and so forth.
And what is your opinion about the new media regulation from European Union level and the transposition to the EU member state?
Well, EDF has been working intensively on the revision of the Audiovisual Media Service Directive, which is an EU legislation that sets the rules for, let's say, TV channels, public and commercial broadcasters, and also those video-on-demand platforms such as Netflix and HBO and others. So we made an important improvement in this revision thanks to the advocacy of EDF and all its members to ensure that accessibility to audiovisual media services is now a mandatory obligation in all member states. So from an encouragement to advance on media accessibility, now we have an Article 7, which ensures that media accessibility needs to progress at national level, and to do so, EDF, we have prepared a toolkit for the transposition of this directive, meaning how to adapt or approve national legislation to comply with the EU legislation. And this transposition, in our view, when it comes to Article 7 on accessibility, needs to ensure that we have quantitative and qualitative targets for those access services that will ensure that persons with disabilities will have equal access to television programs.
And is there a link between the European Union regulation and the United Nations CRPD?
Yeah, totally. The CRPD recognizes access to these technologies as a right for persons with disabilities. Therefore, Article 9 on accessibility and Article 21 or Article 30 of the CRPD have a link to the accessibility of audiovisual media services.
Today we are in Brussels. What is the program today?
Today we are going to discuss about international cooperation, and then we will discuss different activities of the European Disability Forum and its members, our approach to the different European institutions, and the next steps that we will take in the coming years to advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities.
Yes. And at this event, how is it how do you make it accessible?
Well, in our events, we strive to make them as accessible as possible, and something that we always require is to have sign language interpretation and real-time captioning, in addition to having a venue which is accessible for everybody.
And what do you think about the quality of the speak-to-text at the event?
It's actually very important to have speech-to-text in events, not only because of persons who are hard of hearing as well. Obviously, this is a requirement, an access requirement for them, but also it really helps anybody. It really helps everybody in an event to be able to follow the discussion in real-time captioning, because, for instance, for those who don't speak the language as a native speaker, it's very, very helpful. It also helps the organizers to come up with the minutes and to come up with with a report after the event. So it really helps everybody. As we always say, accessibility is crucial for us, for persons with disabilities, but it's beneficial to all.
Is there also a support for you as person, personal support for you?
For me,
Yes.
I mean, in my case, I'm low vision. I have a low vision. So what we do in our events, if I need the real-time captioning, the real-time subtitles, is to ask for a tablet, and then in that tablet we can include the real-time subtitling, so I can approach it to my vision and be able also to translate it to Spanish, for example, because I'm Spanish.
And what do you prefer at this kind of event? Follow it in the English language or in your Spanish language?
I mean, I'm confident in English, so I can follow events in English, but sometimes in other languages I would prefer to have it in my mother tongue.
Do you have some suggestions for the speak-to-text interpreters?
Well, I think it's very important that they come up with some sort of quality assurance on the professionalism of the providers, and kind of a common understanding on what requirements they need to follow when it comes to, for instance, identifying the speakers, for example, or the noises or other sounds which are important to the meeting, for example, and therefore I believe that it's crucial that the professionals are well trained, first of all, and they have a good basis on and about the quality that they need to ensure when they deliver this important service, which is also very important when it comes to live content on television as well, not only event, but also on what we were discussing before about the implementation of the Audiovisual Media Service Directive. So in this sense, again, I believe that quality should be an aspect that professionals must agree in consultation and with the involvement of users organizations to ensure that they deliver what users actually need.
And when you watch television at home, do you use also subtitling?
Yes.
Or do you use audio description?
I use subtitling because we like watching films and programs in the original language, and then we use subtitling in Spanish.
Okay, thank you very much for that interview, and I have a very nice day.
You too, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.